day 25. It's entitled Moab is a Distant Memory. I'm reading from Ruth chapter 4 verses 9 to 10. Then Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelek, Kilion and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family or from his hometown. Today you are my witnesses." So when Elimelek, Naomi, Mahlon and Kilion first made the journey to leave Bethlehem and start a new life in Moab, I wonder what thoughts were going through their mind. They sold their rights to farm their land to somebody else, but they knew that when the year of Jubilee came round, the land would revert back to the original owners. Would they be around to claim that? The original plan was just to escape the famine, but they seemed to settle there for good because they'd been there 10 years and both children had married. They took wives not from Judah girls but local Moabite girls. And the Moab wives didn't worship God but had their own gods. This was God's regular complaint against the people of Israel. If you take foreign wives, they'll lead you astray with their gods. Moab was an interesting case because they weren't listed among the nations they couldn't intermarry in Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 1 to 4. But God did say that a Moabite couldn't enter the assembly up to 10th generations down, Deuteronomy 23 3 to 4. See, Moab was sort of related. He was the son of Lot, which was Abraham's nephew. It meant they weren't quite the same as the pagan nations already in the promised land. Moab received a certain amount of favour from God, but their ghastly worship of the pagan Shemosh would have been a stink to the nostrils of God. So while Elimelek and Naomi may have considered going to Moab as sheltering amongst a related people group, the issue of foreign gods still remained. Generations later, Moab was one of the nations that Solomon took wives from, whose worship of foreign gods led him astray from worshipping the Lord. In this narrative, God turns things around. It took a tragedy of losing a husband for Ruth to decide to abandon her gods and start worshipping the Lord. This change of worship and then marriage into Boaz's family changed their destiny forever. The land that Naomi and Elimelek thought they were probably leaving behind forever had now been reinstated as well. And just 4 generations later, with Ruth's great-grandson King David, we don't see any restriction on him entering the Israelite assembly to worship God. Rather, when the ark was returned, David led the procession. So how do we apply this? Well, the narrative just goes to show that we can make our plans, but God ultimately directs our steps, as it says in Proverbs 16 verse 9. I doubt that when Ruth and Naomi were taking the lonely trek back to Bethlehem, that they realized God was about to make things better for them. What are you facing currently? What can you learn from the story of Naomi and Ruth about God's involvement in our lives? Let's take a moment to pray. Jesus, thank you brought such a turnaround in Ruth's life, from a life of idol worship to worshipping the true and living God. And that from the moment that she sort of connected herself to you, you were bringing things around for her better. We want to thank you for that and trust that you do the same with us. We also pledge ourselves to you fully, like Ruth. Amen.